It was dark. No, I mean really dark. Not just because it was early. It was a darkness I've never known before. A darkness that didn't just surround you, but crept into your soul and smothered it. I'd known dark times before, of course I had. I remember, though not clearly, the days of when I'd been demon-possessed by no less than 7 demons. The days when I didn't know what I was doing, what I was saying, where I was going, who I was. But then that had changed. He spoke. And at his word, the darkness lifted. The shadow was gone, and I was a new woman. A new life started, a life of adventure and discovery. A life where who I am was linked with who he is. And for the first time, the very first time, I knew that life had a purpose and a meaning. The Galilean countryside had never seemed so green, the lake never so blue, the meals we all shared. There was fun and seriousness, joy and laughter in the food. Even the bread tasted better, fresher, lighter. And he spoke words of power and authority, not always easy words, not always comforting words, but they burned. They burned into your heart and into your soul, and you knew I would never be the same again. And so we went to Jerusalem. You should have seen the crowds. People from Bethsaida, Capernaum, everywhere from Galilee. Crowds of people singing for joy as he entered the city on the donkey. Hosanna, blessed is the King of Israel. We knew this was big. We knew that things were about to change and change forever. How couldn't they? We had just heard him speak and we were changed. Jerusalem would hear him speak and it would change. The world would change. There was no end to what we thought was about to happen. The next few days went by in a blur of anticipation and excitement. And then the night fell. And then the soldiers came. And we watched Mary, his mother, and her sister, and others. We watched, helpless, hopeless, as he was crucified. We stood there and watched. And we could do nothing. Where was Peter, Matthew, the others? Where were they? Only John stayed nearby. And in all of this pain and rejection and suffering, Jesus spoke. He spoke words of comfort to his mother, words of love and concern as he hung there dying. And then he died. In the darkness, he died. And as he died, he spoke. It is finished. I know the sun came out later, but it was dark inside. And as Mary and I went with Joseph and Nicodemus to the tomb, we watched as they laid him on the shelf of the rock, and as they rolled the stone across the entrance, and as the light went out forever. 3 days go by. 3 days of sorrow and anguish and anger. Oh yes, anger. 3 days of pain in a bottomless pit of despair. Days of fear and nights with no rest. Then the first day of the week, and it is so dark. Early, I find myself on the path of the garden walking to the tomb. Why am I there? Well, where else could I be? In the slowly breaking dawn, I see the tomb, but there's something wrong. The stone is gone. It's the right tomb. I know it's the right tomb, but something dreadful must have happened. I run to Peter and to the others. 2 of them run off to the tomb, and they leave me behind. I can hardly move for fear and confusion. I get there later than them. Peter says the tomb is empty, the burial cloth just lying there. What's that supposed to mean? And then they walk away. They go home. They leave the tomb. They leave me and they go home. What am I supposed to do? What had happened? In that moment of emptiness and isolation, in the dark of the night of my soul, I wept. My heart just broke and I could do nothing else. I wept for loss of hope, for broken dreams, for him, for me. Yes, it must have been for me. Never had I felt so alone. And then I looked up. Something made me go over to the tomb. Trembling, I looked inside, and there were 2 men there. Where had they come from? They asked me why I was crying. Why was I crying? Because my Lord has gone. I don't know where he is. Why am I crying? My Lord has gone. I turned, and there was another man there, the gardener. I thought, perhaps he's moved Jesus' body. So I asked him, and then he spoke. Never has one word meant so much. He spoke. A voice of love and comfort, of majesty and power. He spoke. Mary. For the first time, my name seemed to mean something beyond the ordinary, the normal, the physical. Mary. And the sun rose. It rose in glorious red and yellow and orange. It rose in my heart and it banished the darkness. It flooded my soul with brilliant white light that felt so real, so heavy. I could almost touch it. This was Jesus, not dead. Oh no, not by any means, but alive, more alive than I'd seen him before, more real than I'd known him before. Jesus was alive. My Lord had returned. He spoke, and I wanted to sing. I wanted to shout, to scream for joy and wonder. I didn't know what I wanted to do. The sheer thrill of the moment took my breath away. And so I speak, I shout, Jesus is alive. I have seen the Lord.